Well, welcome to this week's episode, my friends. I'm pretty excited about this one because we are continuing in the spirit of how much help can I give you in this Q4 when you're looking to close more business, whether you're in a sales team situation, a marketing team situation, customer support situation. If you are a leader and you're creating this content yourself, or you're trying to come up with stories that will help your teams to be able to get that stuff over the finish line with more closed deals by the end of the year, if you're leading a team like that, or if you are a team member that is looking for ways to be able to think differently about how to attract more people, how to get some of those people that might be stuck in your pipeline, how to convince them that you are the right solution for them with their products or services. And so we're going to continue with that. Now, this week specifically, we're going to be talking more to my marketing leaders that this time of year, when we're working with, and either if it's one of our story teams courses, specifically the one that is for business story selling, when we're working with marketing teams and helping them flesh out their story of exactly what their customer hero story is and how that works, we often use this exact same approach. It is a version of the hero's journey that we use in video production as well to create engaging stories for people and to help them identify who their customer is, what they really need and want, and then how to do their messaging and align their product or services with that in order for them to be able to have useful conversations that are of service to their people. Now, this time of year, like I said, we're obviously often talking to marketing leaders who are getting messages from their leadership saying, hey, what can you do? We know you already have all this marketing in place and all these funnels and all this stuff, but what can we do right now that we're not doing? Or can you create some more content for us right now that will help us be able to get some of these deals that are stuck, get them unstuck so they close before the end of the year, if you're on a fiscal year as far as your Q1 through Q4? How can we get them unstuck, or how can we maybe even get some new people in and close them quickly? Well, I'm going to give you a structure this week that will help with that. Now, my marketing leaders out there, you know how much time and effort and care goes into building out your customer personas. We do persona maps, we do workshops, we figure out who they are, what gender they are, what kind of car do they drive, where do they shop, what kinds of things interest them, what are their social causes they give to. We really try and flesh out who these people are and so that we can serve them as best as possible, aligning with our products and services that we sell. So we know exactly who we're talking to. We can picture a physical person or people when we are creating marketing content for them that's useful and helpful and builds trust. That's our job in order to be able to pass then those warm leads, marketing leaders and marketing teams, to the sales department so that they can be able to start to develop those from an account management standpoint. So oftentimes we do a lot of work with that. Now, that is wonderful to do that much work. It can be very gratifying, and for your overall strategy, absolutely worth it. What I'm talking about today is a specific structure that will help you to quickly be able to map a person, or perhaps take the personas that you have right now and tweak, adjust, edit what they might need right now in Q4. What are their big concerns? What are the big things that you can help them with? And you don't have to do all of that work you did before again. This is a way to tweak that and to run with it. So, my marketing people, or people that want to put new marketing in place, this is going to be definitely for you. Now, you may have heard that for instance, the old story of creating who the person is that you're talking to. For instance, Trader Joe's. If you're in a marketing role, you've probably heard that story before, that Trader Joe's did a bunch of work, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars with a huge marketing company in order to get to the point where they decided that they knew their exact customer persona, their hero that they were talking to. And it was a Volvo driving professor who could be CEO of Fortune 100 company if he could just get over his capitalist angst. Maybe that's just funny to me. I find that hilarious, but it's also, think about it, perfectly describes a lot of my experiences when I have been at Trader Joe's. So that's what we're trying to get to. We're trying to get to that quick way to summarize who your customer is so that you can picture them in your head when you're writing amazing copy, when you're trying to make videos for them, when you're trying to give them useful content that helps them make a decision that aligns with your products and services. Now, using the customer hero's journey, what I'm going to talk about is a way simplified version of that that's going to help you do that quicker. So I'm going to give that to you now. So here's what it is. Think of the customer hero's journey, the whole thing, in a storybook when it's story time. There's usually some sort of knight or hero or person that is coming up through the ranks that wants to be a hero and wants to go on an adventure. And I want you to use this structure in order to think about the person that you're talking to as well. For instance, the big thing I want you to remember is that you are not the hero. Your product is not the hero. Your services that you provide to your customers and clients, those are not the heroes. The hero is the customer. So many times we can forget that when we're working on things, even us marketers and salespeople. So the customer is the hero. Now, every hero has desires. They have things that they want to do in order to be victorious and to return as the hero. They have an external desire and an internal desire. And those are the two things that we're going to focus on. So if you have a hero that is focusing on an external desire, what they are focusing on is something that solves a problem they have right now. So think about what that could be right now. In Q4 is the biggest thing that's keeping your customers awake right now, that you can connect to one of your products and services that would help fix that for them. That's their external desire. It's the big elephant in the room that they know they need to solve in order to sleep better at night. That one can be kind of obvious if you think about it just for a few minutes. I want you to go a step deeper though, because it'll be so much more impactful for you and emotionally resonant with the people you're talking to when you're making videos, writing copy, doing all that stuff. If you can also not just think of their external desire, that big thing that they want to have solved, but their internal desire. Now, the internal desire is connected to the external desire in that by solving the external desire, they would be in less pain with their internal desire. So for instance, let's say my external desire is that I need to sell more of my product as your customer hero. And there is like something going wrong with our customer management system, and your product happens to solve that for them. Fantastic. So that's the big thing they need to solve. But their internal desire is to look like a hero in front of their team, and to have a solution that makes them look good in front of their boss so they can sleep better at night. So how are you positioning them to have a better life personally, to help them go home on time, to help them be able to look better in front of their manager at their next review? What are the things that you can talk to there that are going to make them go, oh, I feel so much better now. I can sleep better. So what is their internal desire as an individual? Connect that to their external desire. Now, once we know what their desires are and how that connects with our product, now let's think of any dragons that they might need to slay, what I call conflict dragons. So what are the things that are standing in between them and getting that external desire and that internal desire? It could be a competitor. It could be that their management is waffling on which solution to pick. It could be that they have budget constraints. What are the things that are their dragons that you would need to slay, objections that you would need to overcome in your copy, in your videos, in the way that you're talking with them, that if you talk about them in advance, it makes it so much easier for them to not even consider that and to move forward with the conversation with you. So what are those? What are those conflict dragons? Now, at this point, I want to point out, I said before that your customer is the hero, right? But you still, and your team and the products and services that you have still fill a very, very necessary need. And that is that you are the trusted mentor with the magic elixir that's going to solve their external problem and their internal problem and get rid of those dragons for them. It's the magical sword. It's the magic elixir that makes them strong and powerful. So how can you position yourself and your team as that trusted expert, the Gandalf figure, the wizard, the person that's been there before and knows the secret way around the mountain so that they don't even have to worry about the dragons anymore? What magic elixir do you have, your product or your services, and how can you position yourself for that to make it that much easier for them? Because you will have just pointed out all those dragons, all the reasons that it's hard, all the reasons that they might be running up against that makes their life difficult to solve their problem. And here's your product and service that solves that. Now, remember that as you're telling the story, this is what allows them to seize the treasure. And here's what I mean by that. By you being that trusted mentor with the magic elixir, they're then able to overcome the problem of those dragons and solve their external internal desire so that they're able to have the solution in place that allows them to not have to worry about that anymore and solves that internal and external desire. So show them, paint the picture of them seizing the treasure, of them getting to that endpoint, of being that victorious hero on top of the mountain, planting their flag and going, we solved it. Now connect this victorious return to it. That's the last step. When they're seizing the treasure, connect that to the fact that they're going to have a victorious return and invite them to imagine how they're going to feel when they obtain that treasure, when they no longer have to worry about that CRM or whatever's worrying about them anymore. How will it feel to obtain their external and internal desires? And really talk about it. Be on the nose. Don't beat around the bush. You are going to feel so much better in this way. Your team members are going to be able to do this so much easier. Your leadership is going to know that you're one of the people that they can look at and turn to when they need to do things like this. Like that's their internal desire. An external desire is that that problem is now solved. So those are the steps. I want this to be easy and actionable. That is what we're doing over the next couple of podcasts in order for you, if you are in one of these positions. Now, this week, especially if you're a marketer or a sales leader, like how can you do stuff right now in Q4 and get some results? So really just write this down. In fact, I'm probably going to have a picture of this in the notes as well that you can refer to. But you have your customer is the hero. They have an external and an internal desire. Map those out. Let them be very short, concise phrases. They're going to have some conflict dragons. What are their conflicts? What are the things that are keeping them awake the most right now? What dragons, objections are they going to have to your software, your services, your product, whatever you do that you can talk about ahead of time so that it's not an issue by the time they're talking to a sales rep? Remember that you're positioning yourself as the trusted mentor with the magic elixir. Help them feel safe. Help them feel like you've done this before. Use some credibility indicators as far as different clients that you've helped with a very similar problem in the past. That will be helpful to them as well. It'll help them be able to have what we call a force field down moment where they're like, oh, okay, they've done it before. I can have a sigh of relief. I know that this will, if they've done it for them, they can do it and it'll work for me as well. Once you've positioned yourself as that trusted mentor with the magic elixir, allow them to seize the treasure by using your magic elixir. Paint the picture of how they're going to be able to get their goal and meet the criteria that they need now that they have used you and the magic elixir. And then connect it to their victorious return. How are they going to feel once that external desire and internal desires are met? Really help them be emotionally resonant with that, how it's going to feel. Imagine yourself. Use a phrase like that. Imagine how it's going to feel when you. That's the way to get through that. And that's it. That's the only steps you need to concentrate on, especially if you're running a micro campaign right now in Q4 to get things out of the line, to get things unstuck, to get things, new ones in the pipeline and close quickly. This will really help you with all of that. All right, my friends, that's what I have for you this week. I hope you found that useful. Feel free to leave some comments for me as well on the website. If there are other topics or things that you want to hear about that will help you with things like this, please feel free to reach out to us, and we are happy to create more content like this for you. This is the stuff that we teach and that we do all the time. And so it's delightful for us to be able to connect it to you and be able to show you different ways that you can use it when you're building out your own marketing, sales campaigns, and things like that as well. All right, my friends, have a great week. I will talk to you soon.